we think it's better to buy existing businesses than starting from scratch, considering 90% of businesses fail, right? So we want to buy something that's already profitable because then the model has been proven. And basically, a lot of solopreneurs, they might not necessarily have the capital or the team to grow it further. So that's where we like to come in and really scale the businesses if we were to buy it.
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I am super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Yury. Yury, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So give us a 5,000-foot view of who you are and what you love to do.
Sure. So I'm the head of strategy and acquisitions for Onfolio. We're a holding company that acquires online businesses. So I help with finding the opportunities for the businesses to buy, doing the deal flow, the due diligence, and then doing the digital marketing strategy for a team to execute.
Very cool. So how did you get into acquisitions as a thing?
Well, I've been actually doing SEO. So I've been involved in digital marketing, SEO, e-commerce for probably 15 years now. And just having worked at a number of different agencies, I got experience to work across a lot of different websites and verticals. And I kind of spend most of my time online. So I just have a lot of information. And so that helps when you're doing acquisitions because you're able to know what kind of businesses are doing well, how much they're valued at, look at the market, the industry, and see how it's performing. So just kind of because I had a lot of background and data in all different verticals, it was easy to make the transition into helping with acquisitions.
Very cool. So what is it particularly that you're looking for? What are some of the bigger things that hit you?
So we used to acquire content and e-commerce websites, which ironically enough, we don't look for either one of those anymore. Right now, we look for businesses that sell digital products, services, productized services, courses, and SaaS.
Wow. So people like coaches, authors, that kind of realm, or what do you mean by content?
For courses, it depends on the course. Sometimes it can be hard to acquire a course if there's a very big personality tied to it and like we can't continue using their name. So ideally, the courses that we buy, the people who are taking the courses, they're taking them based on the brand name of the business and not so much individually of the course creator. But we're okay with buying courses where we can continue to use the name and likeness of the creator of the course for the next couple of years.
Very cool. So is there any industry or aspect that makes somebody more appealing to you as an acquisition?
We prefer to acquire businesses where we have some expertise or somebody on our team has expertise in. So if it's something like super complicated, it makes it very hard to do due diligence because if you don't know the industry well, there's a lot of things you might not look out for. So
astrophysicist is probably out of there, but
exactly. I mean, one of the biggest industries online is always the make money industry, right? So if it's a course teaching people on how to make money online in a couple of different ways, could be like, with blogging or how to make money doing e-commerce or drop shipping, that might be like something we'd be interested in. Very
cool. And what is it about these businesses that make them appealing to you? If I'm assuming that the entrepreneur themselves that created it is already trying to get it out there and make it happen. How do you find the gap between where they are and where they could be?
Well, the thing is, we think it's better to buy existing businesses than starting from scratch, considering 90% of businesses fail, right? So we want to buy something that's already profitable because then the model has been proven. And basically, a lot of solopreneurs, they might not necessarily have the capital or the team to grow it further. So that's where we like to come in and really scale the businesses if we were to buy it.
Very cool. So I'm assuming you buy them out so that you have full rights to be able to do with it what you see fit?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. And so then when you're doing that in the marketing, is there anything particular that you guys do that makes it fun and interesting for you?
I mean, everything is fun and interesting for us. Every business is very different, right? So some businesses, they rely on SEO, for example. So then we'd have to come in and we do the paid marketing side of it or do the social media. Other businesses are completely run on like word of mouth and referrals. So there's just no digital marketing at all. So there's just a lot of opportunities there where we can come in and start working on the SEO and organic rankings in both for Google and then for social media, and then as well as like paid campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok. It really depends on the business and where the audience is for that business.
Very cool. So I'm assuming that this is mostly an American English market, or do you venture out of that at all?
No, we're just comfortable with the American English market. Again, I really can't review businesses in other markets just because I'm not familiar with even Canada, where there is an English market. I'm not familiar with the audience in Canada and what they're looking for, the legalities around the different businesses there, because that's one thing you always have to look out for is just a lot of there's like loopholes and state laws, country laws. So I'm much more comfortable with America.
Just stick to what I know. It's all good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. So if somebody's looking to sell their business, is there something that they have to do to kind of make it more appealing to you before they connect with you, or?
Yes. Yeah. So there's a couple things sellers can do from their side. One, they want to make sure they have a separate financials. So a lot of sellers have multiple businesses. So one thing is don't commingle them, right? Have a separate bank account, a separate tax return, just everything completely separate. The other one is a lot of sellers, they don't take themselves out of the business. So the business still very much relies on them. And that makes it hard, depending on the business, it could be hard to replace them when you're buying the business. So if you have like a business and you can completely outsource your job where you're just spending a couple hours a month overseeing all the processes and the team, that makes it much more attractive. Because if we have to go in and we have to replace you, that might be very expensive for us. So then it's going to be like a lower valuation or a lower multiple, because then we have to hire somebody. And for some businesses, it might be so difficult to replace the owner that we might just not want to buy it at all.
And I'm assuming that becomes when it's a personality driven kind of business. All the videos and things are done by the owner, or is there something else to it that makes them invaluable?
So part of it could be the personality. Part of it could just be the skill set. So we looked at one business that was a email marketing agency, but the owner was extremely good at sales. So he had like a great, like closing rate for all his phone calls, and he was doing all the sales calls himself. So we would have to find somebody just as good as him who has experience with email marketing and sales, and can close a lot of the future sales. And again, that's not always easy to do.
Now, call me crazy, but if he's good at it and predictable, couldn't you just record a bunch of the calls and go, oh, here, review these calls and go do the same thing?
Potentially, yes. I think always finding like a strong salesperson is difficult, especially somebody who has the knowledge within like a particular field. But right. Yeah, in theory, yes, if you can hire somebody, it still takes a couple months to then find somebody and train them. But right. Ideally, this is all things that the owner would be able to do so that they're not in the business. Because we always want to buy a business and not a job, right?
Right. Exactly. Nice. So making sure that finances are separate, making sure that they're out of the business, so they've either hired and replaced, made sure that all of their the roles within the company are an employee position. Is there any times when, if they've outsourced things, like in the past they've outsourced their marketing, do you care about that? Because you're probably going to shift all that over anyways.
Not so much. A lot of we try not to like buy a business and then fire everybody, right? We want to keep everybody in place. If they have good marketing people or a good agency doing the marketing for them, that's great. That's less work for us to do. We prefer to keep everything in place as long as it's performing well.
Nice. So what are some of the indications that somebody might be ready to sell? Because I know a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs that I know don't even conceptualize the fact that they could sell their business. It's like, fun. That's the fun part, especially when you're super creative and you're running 5 companies. It's like, hey, could we sell some of these to get you some assets to market to the other ones? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I'd say some sellers are just burned out, right? And they want a different change. Some of them are close to retirement age, and they're ready just to retire. Other ones have other businesses which they think they can scale faster or farther than their current one, and it's more about focus, right? So if you have too many businesses, it's kind of hard to focus and scale them. So then they want to let them go. Others, some people want to buy a house and they have a business making good enough money where they can buy a nice house with it. So there are a lot of different reasons, but I agree. A lot of solopreneurs don't realize like they have a valuable asset that they can sell.
Very cool. So what are some of the questions I should be asking you that I haven't yet?
It could be potentially from the other side as well, right? So this is from the sell side, but like, what if you want to acquire an online business, right? It's a great way to get into the market without, that kind of risk of failure. And so there's a lot of, it's a very hot market right now. So there's a lot of brokers and marketplaces where you can go and buy an online business. There's one trend where they're called website flippers. So they go and buy smaller websites on websites like Flippa or MicroAcquire for anywhere from a couple thousand to maybe $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. They grow it, 20, 30%, and then they just resell it. And they make they could make from 5 to 6 figures within a couple months, just buying a small business, growing it, tweaking some things and reselling it. Because to grow a business, it's only a couple things you need. You need either increase the average order value, increase the number of customers, or increase the traffic. So you could buy an e-commerce website and just, if you're good at, for example, conversion rate optimization, you could implement a few things, just increase the revenue without even increasing traffic, and then flip the business. Giving you some ideas now, right?
Right. I love it. So somebody, whether they're buying or selling, they can go through you and you'll be the conduit?
No, we have nothing to sell. We just buy the businesses ourselves. So if somebody is interested in selling a business, then they can come to us if they're looking for somebody to buy it without necessarily going through like a broker or marketplace. But we're not offering any services. We're not an advisory. We don't offer any consulting. We're strictly a holding company that buys other people's online businesses.
Very cool. So can you give me an example of some of your Cinderella stories, clients that have come to you in a mess and you sold and they were awesome?
Yeah, we have a couple stories. So we have one where we had an investor come to us. This is back when we were helping investors acquire businesses, which we don't do anymore. But we bought like display ads content website for him. And it's doing really well right now. He's going to be able to get back his purchase price within 2 years, and then everything after that is going to be a profit. And then as soon as he acquired it, the traffic and revenue actually went up something like 30%. So that was a good buy. We had somebody come to us. They were looking to retire, and they actually sold us their supplement company very cheap. It was basically like a 1x multiple, but he included the inventory, which was something like $70,000 or $80,000 worth in the purchase price. So it ended up being a great acquisition, and now it's like a multiple 6-figure business right now.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Congratulations. So I assume it's not always, a bed of roses. Anytime they've gone awry.
Yeah, there's definitely things you want to look out for. So one thing is, like when you're looking to buy a business, right, you should have some kind of advisor on your side, because when they're selling through a marketplace or a broker, right, they're representing the seller, and it's in their best interest to get as much money for the seller as possible. So that's why you really want somebody on your side, whether it's a lawyer or an M&A advisor, to help you. So we had an acquisition we helped make for an investor, and there were so many things wrong with it. It ended up sort of dropping 50% in revenue after that. And a lot of the things it's not even something we'd be able to pick up during due diligence. For example, it was a digital marketing agency. And so they had some customers that they had a kickback agreement with that they didn't disclose. We also asked them if any of their customers were planning on leaving, and they said no. And that was a lie. And actually, one of their best customers left soon after the acquisition. And then also, this wasn't so much on the business, but some employees of the business, after it was sold, they stole the list of customers of the business and they started pitching them with a competing service shortly after the sale. So just, what could go wrong went wrong with that one.
Wow. So are there legal ramifications to that? I assume there are. I assume that's not kosher in the government.
There are, and there definitely could be lawsuits, but then it's a matter of, is it worth going after them? How much are you going to spend on the lawyers? Are you going to be able to collect the money if they haven't spent it? So that's why it's always good to have a lawyer in place during the acquisition process as well.
Absolutely. Well, and that's, I assume that's saving your butt as opposed to the ones that you're buying, because they're the ones that if they're dishonest at all, they don't care if they have lawyers, because it's just an expense that they don't want to have. That sucks. So how do you navigate that? Do you just kind of build that into your cost of doing business and you just know that that's part of doing business?
You just have to be very thorough with the due diligence. The investors who ended up buying it, they decided not to pursue legal action because they calculated it was just going to cost them more money to do that. So now the focus is really on growing the revenue back to where it used to be when they acquired it. And we're still managing this property, and we have been successful in to growing it. We're not quite back at the start yet, but we're getting there.
Nice. So let me ask you this. If somebody's looking to acquire a business, because it is one of the better ways to grow, but they're thinking, oh, I'm not in a position yet. I don't have the money for it. I don't have, whatever, but they have the time and effort. Like, are there things that they can look at that kind of offsets that I don't have a lump sum of money to be able to buy a company?
Yeah. So in the US, we have something called an SBA loan, which is a government-backed loan. And that can, for a lot of people, that they can buy a business with just 10% down. So, and for that 10%, they can actually get either like seller financing. Well, for the SBA loan, you still have to put 10%, but you can also just get an investor to put in that 10% for you. So that would work. But other countries don't really have that. I don't think Canada has something like that. Other things you can do is you can do like something with like a deposit of your own money. Then you can get seller financing for maybe 10-20%. And then you can have investors put in the rest of the purchase price. And right now, there's actually a lot of investors who are looking into investing in online businesses. So there are ways to buy 7-figure businesses by putting down like a 10-20% deposit.
Nice. Yet another reason to move to the States. I know there's enough Americans down there going, I want to be Canadian. We'll just kind of trade places and we'll all be good.
There's quite a few Americans migrating to Canada right now because of the politics. So,
oh, it's fun. It certainly won't be because of the weather. It's all good. Awesome. So, some of our listeners are going to want more from you. How would they start that journey with you?
So they can visit our website at onfolio.com. They can see just a few of the websites that we run there. They can email me, Yury, at onfolio.com as well. I'm happy to answer any questions if they just want to, reach out if they have any questions about the acquisition process, either from the buying or the selling side.
Very cool. I love that. So, of course, peeps will have Yury's information in the show notes for you, and any links that might come up that you'll need, we will add to that. So awesome. So Yury, I have to ask you, at what point in life did you know you were special, kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
Probably when I was 13 years old. I don't know if you remember, we have this in the States. They're like the bazooka gum where they had like a little comic inside.
Yeah.
And so I would buy them for 5 cents each. I would then sell the comic book in school for 5 cents each. And so this is how I got started. And then it just went from there.
That's awesome. I love that. You have been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it immensely. Any last words for our peeps?
It's a great time to get into the online business world. especially right now, you can actually find some great deals because there is kind of like the market is down. So it's a very rare time where the multiples to buy a business are down. So now is just a great time to make an acquisition because probably within a year, they're going to go back up.
Very cool. Good to know. Love it. Awesome. Thank you for being here, Yury.
Thanks for having me.
Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show and join our Facebook group, Business Ownership Secrets to Scaling. We love to connect with you and help you grow.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention. You do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap. They offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.